in the bullpen going through his final warm-up throws before taking the mound. Dodgers looking to beat the Angels for the 5th straight time this season. Let's send it upstairs to Joe and Oral with the call. Joe, take it away.
Yeah, John, the script is flipped from last year when the Angels won all 6 matchups between these clubs. But the Dodgers 4-0 after last night's thriller. We're getting ready for game 2, but before we do that, a glance back at last night. And Roki Sasaki, the best start of his major league career, strikes out 10 for the first time, and he goes 7 scoreless innings. It was 0-0 until the 9th when Freddie Freeman ended it with his 8th career walk-off home run. And we welcome you inside. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Joe Davis and Orr Hershiser. Those are the best kinds of games, right? Pitchers, duels, and then to have them end like that.
I really like those games for the Dodgers because they got October feel to it. Those tight games where they don't beat themselves.
Let's go down to Kirsten Watson.
Thanks, Joe. When the lineup first came out this afternoon, Will Smith was in there behind the plate, but since he has been scratched, Dave Roberts said that when he came in this afternoon, he shared that he's dealing with a little bit of a stiff neck that likely came with just how he slept last night. Dave Roberts did say that they're not too concerned, and they do feel like he's going to be in a position to be back in the lineup tomorrow behind the plate. That means that Dalton Rushing is in there catching tonight, and Dave Roberts has praised just how much work Dalton has put in and how good he's been behind the plate. They feel really good about him working with Yoshinobu tonight, guys.
All right, and they feel really good about whoever's pitching lately. It was Sasaki last night, continuing the stretch for the starting rotation that has been remarkable.
Yeah, you starting off with great pitchers, and when you're talking about pitching, it's about location. And then once you have the stuff that these guys have, and you're not making mistakes with it, you're not stringing hits together. The only way to score off these guys is hit the ball to the ballpark, and they haven't done that very much at all. So these starters have been really getting it done. And the one tonight, he would be considered the ace, and he is on a roll. An ERA over the last 3 starts of under 1. Fastball location's been outstanding, and everything comes off that fastball, the splitter and all his other pitches.
All right, Yamamoto trying to pitch the Dodgers to a series win. Jack Kahanowitz counters for the Angels. Game 2 of the Freeway Series coming up on Sportsnet LA.
A lot. We saw him having a bat in yesterday's game, but now he's starting today. And oh, by the way, fans, don't forget, vote Max Muncy for the All-Star.
Absolutely vote Max Muncy. And for any fans concerned with the shortness of breath, it was Max Muncy saying he got the wind knocked out of him, and hopefully he balls tonight.
Bit of a SWAT team lineup, the bottom 4 guys, Jerry.
I love it's a SWAT team.
I know you do.
I love that. Guys, you have an opportunity to shine. Do your thing. Do your best. Right. Come on, Mookie. Right. Lead this team to a victory.
Listen, up and down the lineup. Get it done.
A lot of runs, beginning with my called shot, Freddie Freeman. Jerry, don't say stuff like that on live television. First pitch is coming up next.
Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. The real sourdough star is back at Carl's Jr. You can get it for just $5.99 for a limited time. And by your Southern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. And what a perfect day it is at Dodger Stadium, downtown Los Angeles. Middle game of the Freeway Series as Yamamoto leads the Dodgers onto the field, and the starting pitching continues to lead the team. From Ohtani to Robleski to finish off the Arizona series, and then Sasaki last night dazzled 7 scoreless innings, strikes out 10 for the first time in his career. And tonight it's the ace, it's Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Coming off a season-high 10 strikeouts against the Phillies on Sunday, 5 1/3 scoreless innings. He had a bit of a rough patch early on in the month of May, but his last 3 starts, a 0.93.
4 really good ones at the beginning of the season, 4 kind of rocky ones the next 4, and the last 3 have been dynamite. The location is there, the action is back, and he is in his spot. An ERA under 1 these last 3 starts, and this is how he's gotten it done for the whole season. But can you imagine the batting averages on the splitter and the 4-seamer and the sinker all below 200, and the sinker down at 125? If that includes the rough patch, I can't imagine what he's going to look like tonight when he's on a roll.
It's all relative, right? Rough patch for him is still a stretch that a lot of guys would love to have. He gets ready to face off with the Angels. Why don't we take a look at the Angels lineup here for game 2? It'll look a little bit different. They get a key guy off of the injured list and Nolan Shonowell. Ahead of him, though, it's Zach Neto and then Mike Trout. Wade Meckler's in left field. Oswald Peraza hits cleanup. Shonowell's the first baseman and 5 hitters. He comes back from the ankle injury. In right field, Joe Adell, Nick Madrigal, DHs, with Donovan Walton at third and Logan O'Hoppe doing the catching and hitting 9. The Yamamoto's only faced the Angels 1 time, and it did not go well. Last season gave up a career-high 6 runs against the Angels over 4 2/3, and the guy that's coming up here in Zach Neto took him deep on the very first pitch of the ball game.
Well, there's a fastball down the middle, and Zach Neto, a youngster with power, is not afraid to hack right away.
10 home runs this season for Neto. That was one of the 26 that he hit last year. Yamamoto's ready. Off we go with a fastball by him. Strike 1. Neto yesterday 1 for 3, hitting .324 over his last 10 games.
Forget the memory of the home run. Let's beat him with the same fastball a little higher.
And then a splitter in the dirt. Count evens 1-1. This Angels offense actually came in here feeling pretty good about themselves. They were 7-5 their last 12 games. They were leading the major leagues in runs scored in that time, but then shut out. And they've scored a total of 3 runs in 4 games against the Dodgers. It's not personal. Dodger pitching doing it to everybody.
The consistency has been there, but the effectiveness has been off the charts. And they have been hitting their spots with outstanding stuff, getting ahead of hitters, pitching in pitchers counts, and getting these Dodgers off to very good starts at the beginning of games.
290 overall, 136 the last 12 games for the starting staff. 1-2 from Yamamoto, and a curve grounded foul. 12 consecutive games, 2 runs or fewer after Sasaki's gem yesterday. And with Roki Sasaki, it's gone from trying to find silver linings to seeing improvements to a few starts in a row where the rest of baseball has got to be saying, really? These guys got another guy like that? On the hands, Mookie Betts. One shortstop gets another.
Sasaki last night raised the bar for himself. He's been so consistent now with his effectiveness that there's an expectation that his next start is going to be another marvelous one.
Now Dave Roberts is talking to us about, that first month he's like, okay, you're gonna have to be on my toes, ready to get the pen going. This is probably gonna early on spiral out of control. And he said these days I'm just sitting back and enjoying it. Curve misses downstairs to Mike Trout, and relatively speaking, it happened like with a snap of a finger. That was a month ago where Dave was feeling like he had to be holding on to the bullpen phone from pitch 1. That's my words, by the way. 1-0 to Trout. Strike 1.
Well, at first the confidence came from the pitching coaches saying, you know what, the side works are getting better, and he's listening. And next, the confidence came from Roki. He's like, wow, this is working, and I'm executing, getting people out. And now, Dave Roberts has the confidence to sit back and watch.
Struck out Trout a couple times last night. Trout had his 15-game on-base streak come to an end with an 0-for-4 3K night. 14 strikeouts total for Dodger pitching. Here comes the 2-1. 2-2 as he looped a curve in there.
Breaking ball that's very sharp. Something Roki didn't throw much of because he was throwing the slider last night. But that's got to be the best day of his life right now as a big leaguer, to have the 10 strikeout game, get what he did, and then just sit there after his workout and watch a big league game from the bench.
Today's even better than yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. It's over with. Everything that you're worried about. You're working. You're having fun when you're getting it done out there. Yeah, and you maybe get goosebumps every once in a while when you execute and get a guy out like Trout. But the next day, to do your workout and then shower and just put your uni on and watch the game from there, it's a really nice chair to sit in.
Bouncing ball, Max Muncy stabs it. 2 up and 2 down.
Nice recovery for Max to get out of the collision and pinch hit last night and now get one of the first balls in this game.
Said he feels like he got in a car accident 2 days ago and he thinks his nose is probably broken. Putting the glasses on didn't feel great.
I'll bet.
The glasses that inflicted the damage. 2 outs, Wade Meckler. Meckler came in scalding hot. He was coming off a 4-hit game. He had 6 hits over his last 2 games coming in, but even he struck out 3 times yesterday. 26-year-old who grew up 15 minutes from Angel Stadium. Grew up going to games. Mentioned yesterday, favorite guy was Mike Trout. Now hits behind him in the lineup. Came up just a couple weeks ago and in his very first at bat homered against Jacob deGrom, and guess who was at home plate ready to greet him when he got there? It was Trout. He's been pinching himself since he arrived with the Angels. 20 games with the Giants a few years back. The last 2 years though nothing but the minors, and he was let go. He picked up by his hometown club, started in AAA, called up because of the injuries. 3-0 from Yamamoto. Yeah, that's a 4-pitch walk, barring this challenge.
The ball, the catcher's challenging.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile. And he got it. Dalton Rushing's on an ABS roll.
Will Smith scratched earlier in the day. Dalton Rushing back there, and Dave Roberts talking about his 2 catchers says he is really confident in both of their throwing abilities, their relationship with the pitching staff, and what they're doing with the ABS.
See if Yamamoto can take advantage. Comes home with a 3-1. It's bunted left side. Yamamoto hurries, slides, has no play. Bunt hit, Wade Meckler. And it's that kind of spark that Meckler's given him since coming up from AAA.
Yamamoto does the best he can do to give himself a chance. He's got baseball clock in the panic. He's got the slide, and he tries to barehand it because as you slide and pick it up, you're trying to plant your back leg to immediately get into the throw and just juggles it. I'm not sure he would have got him even with a good slide and a good grab.
Inning kept alive. Oswald Peraza comes up, takes a strike. Peraza was 0 for 4 yesterday. Hit about $190 over parts of 4 seasons with the New York Yankees, where he went from one of their top prospects to sent away to the Angels, and so far this season hitting .277. By far his best season in the big leagues. Still just 25 years of age, Peraza. Back to using his old swing. Has a little more of a leg kick to it. He had gotten rid of that once he got to the major leagues. Didn't think that he could catch up if he had it. And so swinging to do a little more damage again. Fights it off foul, strike 2. Yamamoto trying to get through this first inning. If there has been a problem consistently this year, it's been this inning. Launched to center field. Pages sprints back, twists around, and can't get it. Angels going to get on the board here. A bunt single, and then a triple from Oswald Peraza. First run of the series from the Angels comes here in the first.
Probably the toughest play a center fielder can have, the one directly over his head. And we saw Andy as he's going back, twisting and turning, trying to get a visual on this, on exactly where it might land. And just at the end, it just clanks off his leather a little bit. But you can see he can't be in a dead sprint for that ball when he has to twist and turn to get the visual on it. It's really hard when it's right at you to know how deep it's going to be. It's like the line drive in front of you and the line drive over your head.
Sean O'Well makes his return to the big league lineup, swings and misses at a curveball.
Andy will tell you after the game he should have had it, but it's a very difficult play.
I guess as a testament to what growth he's made out there, kind of expect him, even on a maximum difficulty play to find a way to get to it. Quickly 0-2 on Shawnoel, who was playing an A-ball yesterday. And he says his ankle's only probably 85%, but he said, I'm good enough to go. And I know my team needs me, so back a little bit earlier than best case scenario probably would have had. He's got Peraza at third, 2 out, and waits on an 0-2 from Yamamoto.
That's a good 0-2 fastball right there, because you're coming inside, and if you're going to miss, you miss all the way in. You don't miss out over the plate.
Grounded to second. There's Freeland. Angels, though, get a bunt single from Wade Meckler and then a triple from Peraza to get on the board in the first. Presented by your SoCal Helpful Honda dealers, with Ohtani to lead things off. A smile over there to his old teammates. Pages, Freeman, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy back in at third base. And then some youngsters down at the bottom. Ryan Ward with Colin there, and Rushing and Freeland. Zach Kahanowitz, who is a sinker baller, but that didn't stop the Dodgers from hitting 3 home runs against him when they faced him in May. They scored 6 runs in that outing on May 15th.
He had a nice April and 6 starts, but May has been absolutely terrible for him. You can look at any statistic, peripheral, exact, ERA, hits per inning, strikeouts. It's been a rough month for him.
Delivers strike 1 to Ohtani, who tries to start a new streak today. Had a 20-game on-base streak end yesterday with an 0 for 4. And here's what Kahanowitz brings to the table. You know, when he was a rookie a couple years ago, it was more than 70% sinker, and you see below 40% now. And the pitch has performed a little bit better as he stayed away from it. But, man, like you said, it's balls in play. You're going to have balls in play. And it's been pretty much weak contact, but way too many walks. And the defense behind him, not great. Not a good equation for a sinker baller.
Yeah, he's a ground ball machine, but baseball probabilities have not worked out for him at all. And I think the Dodgers are going to see a lot of his slider, because statistically that is his best pitch. But he has a tendency that if he can't find it, to just abandon it. And I think he needs to stick with it, even when he's doesn't have the feel.
Dodger offense just the 1 run yesterday on Freeman's home run. Only 3 hits, only 3 runs the last 2 games back to the finale in Phoenix. They were in second place about a month ago, the Dodgers were. Last night's win, though, they're 17th out of their last 22 games. They now lead the division by 8. Arizona's dropped the first 2 to the Nationals. They got beat 14-1 yesterday, 6-1 today. Wow, that's a huge bounce to second, and by the time Ohtani's down there, he's safe.
The Angels take a moment to look at it. It's one of those ones because the foot could be over the bag, or is it on the bag when the ball hits the leather? They're saying he's safe.
Infield hit for Shohei Ohtani to start it.
Play on because of this altitude and that speed. Shohei umping the call and got it right.
We often comment on how he hits it farther and higher than anybody. Hit it higher again. Highest Baltimore chop you're ever going to see. So the leadoff man is on, and Andy Pages is up. Baltimore chop got its name back in the 1890s. Scientific baseball, the original Baltimore Orioles, where they had guys who would intentionally try to hit the ball down, and the groundskeeper would make it as hard as he could. So you'd have plays like that that would happen routinely. Fielders are standing there waiting on the chop to come down, and the guy's already standing at first. Those dang Orioles.
hard around home plate, but don't make it hard around second base and third base because you're going to get torn up when you slide.
The groundskeeper's name was Tom Murphy. The other thing that he would do is he would have the foul line slope way down into the corners, so their speedsters like Wee Willie Keeler could smack it down there and have the ball roll away and away and away from the corner outfielders. Two and two on Pages. Pages trying to get the bat going again. It's been subtle, but a bit of a slump the last week or so. 176 his last 8 games. Been getting about a hit each night, but no big games lately. There's a high fly ball, and so much for that. Bang goes Andy Pages, a 2-run shot. Nice catch by Blake Trinan down there.
Angels did it with a bunt hit with 2 outs and a triple. Dodgers do it with no outs with an infield hit and a blast. And this is a blast. Joe, you set it up perfectly. No big games lately, but a hit a night. Well, this is a big hit.
His first home run in 11 games. Just mobbing Trinan. Does that mean Trinan called Pages and caught it?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he got a lot of points on this one. So they have a game down there where they call the home run, and it's worth extra points if they call it and they catch it in the bullpen.
I mean, that's a bigger reaction than you ever see from anybody in the dugout on a home run.
It's bigger than the crowd.
Oh, it's like a walk-off. Here's now Freeman, who ended last night with a home run. He almost starts his night tonight with one, but it's just foul.
Almost too much fun in a short period of time here after this swing. Freddie just stand at the plate. He knew it was going to be foul, but we really couldn't tell.
Boy, the slug has come in a big way lately for Freddie Freeman. 339 average his last 16 games, which is routine to see him go through stretches like that. But he's also top 5 in the league in slugging in that time.
I think the balance and the bat path have looked really, really good. He's staying in his legs, staying balanced. You don't see the off-balance swings anymore, and he's really feeling good about it. He's the one not to brag, but he is one to be kind of self-deprecating, and we haven't heard anything about I don't have my A swing. I think he's starting to feel the A swing.
There's a base hit the other way. That's always part of the A swing with him, isn't it?
Really is, and you're in a 2-strike count. You get an off-speed pitch, and he just stays inside. It hits the line drive the other way, but the balance on the swing. Firm front side. Watch this. Just the head down. Eyes still. Just really good. Like, hard to set up a guy like that. He can hit all speeds in all locations.
Dodgers didn't have a run until the last batter of the game last night. They have two batters into the game today, and 3 batters in. They've already matched last night's hit total. Mookie Betts 0 for 2 yesterday and 2 for his last 22. On an 0-1, he laces one to left center field. Trout on the run, won't get there. And the Dodgers have started the night 4 for 4 against Kahanowitz.
Well, statistically, coming into the game, you say this is a guy we should hit, and they are doing it. A terrible May for Kahanowitz, and Mookie was the first LA hitter to get a hit with 1 strike. All the other guys got hits with 2 strikes. And Pages was pretty far for a 2-strike hit.
So Ohtani's hit to start the game traveled 1 foot. Yeah. Pages 394.
He's got that going for him.
Edged him. Jack Kahanowitz got to the major leagues when he was 23 years old. Pretty good as a rookie at an ERA below 4. Last year, though, had the worst ERA in the majors, a 6.81. You were talking about what a good start he got off to this year. They're thinking, okay, he's putting it together. 25 years old now, 3rd season in the major leagues, but he's now given up 25 runs in his last 22 innings.
Yamamoto starting to get some support. Last game got support. This game, he gives up the run. Dodgers right back on top for him.
Max Muncy's back in the lineup. Came off of the bench yesterday. And after the mound visit, a wild pitch.
Just overthrow it before your front foot lands, and then your upper body just takes over and you just pull the ball.
He had 5 of those his first 2 seasons in the major leagues. That's already his 6th wild pitch this year, the most in baseball. Infield comes in, 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. Muncy fouls back to high heat. Muncy 3 for 4 with a home run against Kahanowitz. Here's the home run.
Whoa. A little bit away from him. He still pulled it. That was a really good swing on a tough pitch.
One of his team leading 14 this year. Now tied for the team lead, that is. With Pages hitting his 14th earlier in this inning. Single homer, single, single. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. And a 1-1 pitch. Muncy fouls off, strike 2.
This is a little different than last night's game. Last night's game, they combined for 6 hits through the whole game.
Yeah.
We're already up to that total.
162 games, and they're all going to come in their own beautiful form. Some more beautiful than others.
I think last night was extra special because it was Sasaki on the mound, and we watched the needle pointing up again. And he took it to another level. It wasn't just like he's starting to put it together. He put it all together. Fastball location, getting ahead of hitters. Split finger, slider.
Broken bat, teardrop left side, and it's an infield hit, and the world is scheming against Kahanowitz at this point. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Kahanowitz is like mercy. Ohtani hits it 1 foot, and a jackrabbit's about 35 feet in the air. Muncy hits it 35 feet and gets a hit.
And you wouldn't blame Jack Kahanowitz if he was fathoming career change at this point. This seems no fun at this point. Bases loaded for Ward. The rookie makes his return to Dodger Stadium, where he homered in his first game here. And fouls off the first pitch. It's his last homestand against the Phillies.
He's got a sweet leg kick, and when he gets in certain counts, I was talking to him today, he knows how to open up his swing.
Drives this ball to left center field indeed. Meckler's going back onto the track. It's off the wall. Freeman's in to score. Betts right on his heels. A ringing double from Ryan Ward. And it's 4-1 Dodgers before the first out.
Powerful swing and shows the oppo power right here. Full leg kick from him, gets his foot down in time, times it perfectly. Nice effort out there, but I'm not sure you're going to catch that one. Another one of those ones that Andy Pa has dealt with straight over his head. They deal with it out there with Meckler. That was a tough one to catch and a nice double.
Now it's Call, the 7th man to bat in this first inning. Call getting a start against a righty tonight. Kyle Tucker getting the day off, so Call's in right. Muncy at third, Ward at second. Ball and a strike on Call. Brent Suter has started to warm. 30th pitch with Kahanowitz still looking for his first out. His 1-1 is swung on and missed.
Well, if they take Kahanowitz out even without getting an out and they keep the pitch count under 40, they could bring him back on a short rest if all of a sudden their bullpen takes a hit tonight. So you're really trying to make a decision whether am I going to let him go to 90 pitches and just kind of eat it, or am I going to get him out early? I'll bring him back in a couple days.
Calls down on strikes. That's a rare one. A guy that swings and misses as infrequently as anybody strikes out against Kahanowitz.
What's odd for me with Kahanowitz is that his fastball gets graded as a sinker, but he's pitching above the waist with it. I mean, he's got to get down by the knees and then change eye line later in the count.
Ball on Rushing. It was a late addition to the lineup today with, as Kirsten reported, Will Smith dealing with some neck stiffness. And the plan was to have Rushing start tomorrow, and Dave Roberts still hopes that Will Smith will be ready to go tomorrow. So just change the days. Rushing was going to be in there. Dave is saying that it is night and day different from where Rushing was last year, and his ability to get that tap on the shoulder and say, hey, we're going to need you in a couple hours on a day where he wasn't expecting it. Good to go. So the game has slowed down for him, and just being around the Major League clubhouse and everything that his role involves has slowed down for him. A leap and a catch from Ohapi. Infield still in, second and third, one out. 3-1 from Kahanowitz. Just misses. A challenge coming here from Ohapi.
The pitcher's roll the ball, the catcher's challenging.
And it was a strike. So it's 3-2 instead of ball 4.
The Angels have 2 challenges remaining.
Whether it was a good challenge or not, I think it was good mentally for Kahanowitz to know his catcher is with him and trying his hardest.
Here's the payoff pitch. Rushing, grounds one, just foul. Rushing went into the Diamondback series 3 for his last 29, but he went 3 for 7 in the 2 games that he played in there and had his first run batted in since April. Chance for a couple more here. Another 3-2 pitch to the Dodger catcher, and now he takes ball 4. That is going to do it for Jack Kahanowitz. He gives up at least 4. All 3 men aboard his responsibility. And Kurt Suzuki with a tough first inning walk to remove him. So they batted around in this first inning as Alex Freeland comes up. And Freeland, you do all the prep work for the starting pitcher. You're never even going to face him. Suter will come on to face Alex Freeland. Dodgers already 4 runs in this inning. Andy Pott has the biggest swing. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Already 4 in the bank for the Dodgers. Still just 1 away. Bases loaded in the first inning, and Alex Freeland is on to bat against Brent Suter. Pressed into duty very quickly. He is the fastest worker in the majors and the softest thrower in the majors.
51% of the time he's going to throw you one type of the fastball or the other, but his number one pitch is that changeup right there. Back-to-back changeups.
League hitting 122 against it. Against the former 31st rounder out of Harvard, who's now in his 11th season, still going as a 36-year-old. This is the role that he's played for years. On days like this, he can come in and eat up as many innings as you ask him to. Dodgers chasing Kahanowitz, 6 hits and a walk. 3 straight change-ups. This one misses, and it's 1-2 on Freeland. Ground ball left side, netted with the backhand, throws wildly into right field. 2 runs will score, maybe 3. Here comes rushing. Wow, 7-1. And for as good as it looked last night with Reed Detmers on the mound, it's the other end of the spectrum so far today for the Angels.
Neto knows he has to be quick because he was trying to get a double play, but I don't think in the hole over there you're going to get 2 no matter what with the length of his throw. So he should have probably just taken his time and gotten 1 out at second. He just zings it over there and pulls it wide.
Ohtani up there for the 2nd time already, and he takes a strike from Suter. Started this game with a Baltimore chop infield hit. Ohtani for 6 years wore that uniform. He's come to the Dodgers 2 years, 2 MVPs, 2 World Series rings, while the Angels have continued to lose. Headed for an 11th consecutive losing season and on pace right now to lose 100 games for the first time in franchise history. They're the only franchise that has never lost 100. Yes, even the Dodgers back in 1905 and 1908 lost 100.
Usually you lose that many games because you don't have pitching. Not having pitching is a long season. Not having very good offense is a long night or a long series.
Ohtani drives the ball to left center field and deep and gone. Wow. 9 in the first for the Dodgers.
Well, the first 6 in the order have all gotten hits, and Ohtani got his 2nd one, and it's a big fly. Ryan Ward went oppo for the double, and now Ohtani goes oppo for the dinger.
Started the inning with a 1-foot single, and now he's got a 406-foot homer. Well, the average has come up lately. Bunch of base hits. That's his first home run in more than a week. Back to the first game of the prior homestand. Salt in the wound for the Angels, watching him do it and wondering how 6 years of Ohtani and Trout in the same organization didn't produce more. Strike on Pages, 1-1. Of course, a big part of that was Trout was hurt for a lot of the time. Still, though, you look back 10 and 50 years from now, you're studying baseball history, and you look and you'll see, wait a minute, Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani were on the same team, and they never won?
Takes other facets of the game. Consistency in different places. Just in this first inning, you've got a left fielder that might have been able to get to a ball and catch it. You've got a shortstop that could have recorded it out at second and didn't get it done. You got a wild pitch from the pitcher to move runners out of double play depth or double play position.
Neto to get Pages with a pick on the back end from Shonowell.
Every department's got to help the other departments.
Yeah, and Yamamoto's saying, okay, I'm ready to go back out there. I think this is enough. Most runs the Dodgers have scored in the first inning in 5 years. June 2nd, 2021, they scored 11 in the first inning against St. Louis.
Yama in his last start left the game with a 6-0 lead. He's going to leave this game with a lead, I would think, with a 9 spot up there.
Freeman shoots it left side, cut off by Walton, springs to his feet and makes a nice play to end the inning. But the Dodgers drop 9 in the first inning. Ohtani 2 hits, 2 runs scored, 2 runs knocked in, 1 inning played.
Joe Adele.
To the top of the second inning, Yamamoto saying, what do I have here? 9 runs. Biggest first inning for the Dodgers in 5 years. So you can settle into the rocking chair and go back to work against the Angels with all kinds of cushion. And strike 1 on Joe Adele. How do you not, though, just like totally take your foot off of the gas? And
you have to pitch not to this scoreboard. You have to pitch to another scoreboard in your mind. I used to break the game down into 3 sets. So this set is going to be pretty good, the first 3 innings. And I was thinking about going 9 innings. That's why it was 3 sets of 3. But maybe this generation should maybe look at it as 2 inning sets because they're expected to go 6 or 7. So for me, the top of the 4th, the score was 0-0 on the scoreboard in my head. Tried to beat the opposing team and the opposing pitcher in the first set, try and beat him in the second set, maybe possibly beat him in the third set.
good start to second inning of the first set.
Yeah. Well, you talked about getting in a rocking chair now with that lead. Well, after the first inning where he has struggled, his ERA in the first now is right around 6. After the first inning, he's a 2.31, and Jumbo Jack starting.
There we go. 7 of those to get that free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink. Madrigal chops the first one. He sees the Mookie Betts. Took a big bounce on him, but he adjusted and threw him out. The Madrigal had a little more routine out right there. He's got to still be stewing from what happened yesterday as we see our All-State Good Hands replay. The play that Miguel Rojas made to take a hit away from him.
We talked to Miguel around the cage today, and he actually had this ball hit him in the palm of the hand on purpose and then made it go to the fingers, because he said when the ball has velocity, it actually has a tendency to go through your fingers. So you want to use your palm first, like you have a glove there to stop the ball, and then let it roll to your fingers after the velocity's been slowed down. And so I thought in live action, I saw him do that, and I wanted to know, did you do that on purpose? And you can see him re-grip it and get his thumb under there. But he said, you know, when it's a slow roller, you go down with your fingers and you grab it. When it's stopped, you go down with your fingers and you grab it. But when it's got some velocity and you've got to go bare hand, he tries to block it almost like a ping pong paddle and then grab the ball with his fingers.
Donovan Walton with a bouncing ball to second for Freeland. And a 1-2-3 inning for Yamamoto.
First 40,000 fans will take home an exclusive Mookie Betts Game 7 double play bobblehead. That'll be on June 19th. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
And it's Mookie Betts headed up to the plate here to start the last of the second. Betts had a base hit his first time up today and came in to score. Mookie understandably down the last few days, the way that it's been going for him. Still trying to get that average turned up. This disjointed start to the year that he's had. And Miguel Rojas pulled him aside. He noticed that he was really feeling it. He said, hey, I know you're losing sleep over being below 200. No, you're losing sleep thinking that you're letting the team down, you're letting the fans down. But he said, you got to know that your teammates, we don't see that average. We're not worried about you. We see a valuable guy that we know is going to help us win a championship. We don't care that it's 185 or whatever it is right now. We know you're going to be there when it matters most. And we know you're putting in the work. And he said to him, you're going to go on a 15 for 20 stretch at some point, but don't wait until you go on that 15 for 20 stretch to appreciate how valuable you are. Give yourself a little grace.
I think it's just unbelievable veteran leadership. I think it rings true with Mookie. Not only does he hear the words, but they ring true because of who they're coming from.
No 2 on Muncy. Rojas has talked about how Kike Hernandez did that for him last year when he was feeling down in the dumps about himself. And look how that turned out. Who knows if Game 7 happens, if he doesn't get rescued by a friend, rescued by a teammate like that. Once he's able to lay off, 2-2.
It's the example of playing for the name on the front of your jersey compared to the name on the back of your jersey, and then having your teammates verbalize it to you. They're giving you permission to struggle, but also concentrate on a nightly basis on what is the one thing you can do or 2 things you can do to help us win. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be upset that you made a bad swing or maybe you made an error in the field, but don't lose track of why you're out there and why we love you.
That's got to mean so much to a guy knowing that the guys around him, the guys that he's going into games with, feel that way. Neto juggles and not going to get Muncy.
It does. You can feel really alone if the communication doesn't exist. But when there's good camaraderie and good communication and it has integrity and sincerity, yeah, it can multiply inside you and on the team.
Ryan Ward, who knocked in 2 with a double in the first inning. Fouls off the first pitch. Ryan was saying his first call up earlier this season, because it was so short, it was not even 48 hours before he got sent back down. He said it wasn't long enough for me to have an appreciation for all the extra work that these guys do, even the superstar players. And he said the most eye-opening thing this time around coming back up has been seeing all those guys out there putting in the extra time. And he said, I'm going to get every minute I can of that extra work, following their lead. He's put together his own full routine with Dino Ebel for each day defensively before anybody's in the stadium. He said it's such a great thing to be able to go out there before anybody's watching, get the mistakes out of the way before it matters. And he feels like he's making big growth quickly, especially defensively, with that extra work. Walton will throw him out, 2 away.
Yeah, that extra work is being noticed. Not only he has noticed the big leaguers or the other big leaguers, his teammates, but the other people are noticing that he's out early now and getting it done. Gains you a lot of respect in the locker room.
Two-way for call. If we had said there was one strikeout in the first inning, you wouldn't have guessed that it was going to be call. But he went down swinging against Kahanowitz.
7, 8, 9 now coming up for the Dodgers. These are the only three guys that don't have hits. Rushing on deck has reached base, and so is Freeland. One with a walk, one with a fielder's choice. Alex Call, the only one that hasn't run the bases.
Only calls 10th strikeout of the year to 11 walks.
Somebody on the Dodger team needs to hit a triple, so we'll have a cycle watch.
Team cycle watch.
Well, they're going to get a lot of at bats. Whoever might have a shot at it, going to get 5 or 6 at bats.
Count goes full.
Tough situation for the Angels with the day game tomorrow, that all of a sudden their pen might get used an awful lot. And even if those guys can come back tomorrow, the information that they're going to expose to the Dodger hitters.
Walton with a nice play right there, but then heaves it over his head. Good and then bad.
And he doesn't need to rush the throw. We got to have a better clock than this. It's a one hopper. And you got the ball and the guy just left the batter's box. Look how far Alex Call is from first base. He's like 4 steps away.
Number 68, Dalton Rushing.
Veteran infielders that I've talked to say that when you're going to rush a throw, make sure you throw it into the ground. A lot easier to catch than something that's too far over your head as a first baseman.
Strike one on Rushing, who walked and scored in the first. First and third, 2 gone here in the second. So the walk for Rushing, we're talking about Call having more walks than he does strikeouts. Walks up across baseball, one of the unintended consequences of ABS. There are 12 guys that have more strikeouts or more walks than strikeouts this year. There were only 2 last year. And you like guys that don't strike out, but walks not necessarily great for the game. Ground ball towards the middle. Peraza picks it up and shovels off to second to end the inning. Scored a second for Suter. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Get fired up with a Hot Ones Munchie Meal. Joel and Kirsten back here in Los Angeles, where the Dodgers plated 9 runs in the first inning to chase Jack Kahanowitz and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Heads back out there for the third, having given up a run in the first inning, but then gone 1-2-3 in the second, as he plays the mental game of trying to keep his edge with an 8-run lead.
5 of the 6 outs have been on the ground, and the other one a strikeout. The one hit's a bunt single.
Logan O'Hoppe leads off and takes inside for a ball.
The strong fly ball to center that he gave up that Andy couldn't get to. Andy would say, I should have got that for you, partner. And Yama would say, well, it was a bad pitch. Thanks for hitting the home run.
You know, you probably would say that, though. And this guy, he might be the most popular teammate inside the clubhouse walls. And there's a lot of candidates for that. As good as he pitched last time, Dave Roberts afterwards went out of his way to talk about the person. He said you could not draw it up any better. He said, yeah, the player, but the person too. The combination of softness and discipline, Doc said, but then the toughness and the killer attitude that he gets when he gets on the mound. Not many guys have that blend of both sides of that. Pages finds it, one away. At least not to the degree that he does.
I think the evidence comes from his teammates, not from observations. You can get it from observation, but the depth of it comes from his teammates.
Top of the order in Zach Neto. Grounded out first time. First round draft pick, talented shortstop. Takes ball one. Mentioned last night he went to Campbell University for the Fighting Camels. He's out of Miami originally, but was hardly recruited, undrafted. In fact, he was so lightly recruited that he had to tour around the Southeast on a bus, trying out for college programs, trying to talk somebody into giving him a chance just to play college ball. And it was Campbell that did. Starts lifting weights. Not the biggest guy, as you can see, but he was really small in high school. Lifting weights, he was eating 6 meals a day at first. He added 30 pounds. He started hitting, and he hasn't stopped. Two-time Conference Player of the Year at Campbell, and then a first-round pick. He was in the majors less than a year after they drafted him. And you can see a little bit on his left arm, all the tattoos there. Those tattoos tell his story. He's got there's a scene there of Miami Beach where he comes from. There's a camel to represent the college portion of his journey. There's a lion on there. So the lion is the mentality that he's always tried to have as the small guy. And then the date of his major league debut.
I was at an appearance and got to spend a good half hour with the young man just in the green room hanging out, and he's very intentional about all the stuff in his life. And as we had the conversation, his agent happened to be around and his mom happened to be around, and I said, is it okay if we talk about the big league life? And he's like, yeah, I'd love to. And I said, do you want to do it right here in front of your mom and your agent? He goes, oh yeah, they know everything about me, and whatever advice you might have or whatever you can say, I want them to hear too. And he was very receptive about just Los Angeles and the big league life and the intention that he wants to have to be the good person and a good player. Really respectful. And then he went out into the crowd and signed some autographs and did some speaking, took some photos, and he was very much a gentleman to everybody. Spent time with them, looked him in the eye, gave him some time. It was well done on his part.
They've got themselves a good player right here, kind of guy that you can build around. In his 4th season now, 49 home runs and 56 stolen bases the previous 2 years combined, with good defense at short. Although that's fallen off this year. Swings and misses. Yamamoto strikes him out, number 2.
Well, the split finger has given the Angels trouble. It was last night with Sasaki where they were 0 for 10 and 6 Ks, and tonight Yamamoto's got it going too. It's given up 1 hit tonight, the splitter, but that's the first strikeout with it.
Trout with 2 away. A little bit inside with a fastball. You know, the 10 Ks that Yamamoto had against the Phillies on 5 different pitches, and you've touched on it a little bit. He's got all these options, but the 2 fastballs. Story to be told with those 2 pitches alone.
Yeah, the sinker right there to Trout. I really like the sinker on the nights when the 4-seamer isn't precise, and when you talk precision with Yamamoto, you're talking corner or just off the corner. You're not talking about, oh, he's missing on one half of the plate or the other. But when he doesn't have that precision with the 4-seamer, I think he's better off sometimes to pull the trigger on the sinker, because if if the location is slightly off, you have the movement that defaults to help to get the hitter out.
Tyler Glasnow's talked about that a little bit. The sinkers come up and up and up in usage the last year or so.
I think you and your catcher just have to recognize it is a very strong check swing. But the catcher and the pitcher need to recognize, is this pitch precise tonight? And if it's not, let's use the same type of velocity, but make the ball move a little bit.
So if the qualities that you could have are velocity, location, and movement, rank them.
For me, late movement is #1.
Over location.
Yeah, because I know a knuckleball works, and all I'm trying to do is hit the strike zone and stimulate the guy to swing. Now, if you don't have exceptional late movement, then you want location, you want precision.
Yamamoto strikes out the top 2 guys in the lineup and leads it 9-1.
Play Ball Weekend is here, encouraging youth everywhere to get out and play. You can visit playball.org to learn more and sign up for free events near you. Today, let's all play ball.
Alex Freeland does to lead off this third for the Dodgers. Scored 9 runs in the first inning. If you tuned in a little bit late today, you missed everything.
No, stay.
But yeah, there's more to come.
Yeah, there's more fun coming.
Freeland reached on an error and a play where 3 runs scored. It was that kind of first inning as the Dodgers chased Kahanowitz. Pages and Ohtani both went deep. The Dodgers look like they are headed for an 18th win in their last 23 games. Miguel Rojas asked me today, he said, is this the best you've seen the Dodgers? And I told him I think that there's been better, more overwhelming offensive stretches. But I don't remember too many stretches where it's been this well-rounded. Trout, nice job right there to close and catch that. You know, they lead the majors in games where they score 10+ runs. They've done that 10 times, plenty of those games. But they also lead the majors in shutouts. Last night they didn't have the 10 runs. They get a shutout, they get one big swing, they win again. They've won 17 of their last 22. 3 of the 5 losses in that time have been by 1 run. And Rojas is making the point that you're going to have to be almost perfect, it feels like, to beat him at this point, just because there are so many different ways. First of all, in the offense, there's so many different guys that can beat you, but then just overall, there's so many different ways the team can beat you. And you made the point, the way that it ain't happening is them beating themselves.
Yeah, they are not beating themselves. They might have a rare bad game once every 2 weeks where you go, oh, they might have given that one away. But you know what? You might not remember it because the offense scored 9 runs. And it's like, nope, didn't give it away. Another place in the clubhouse was elite. You know, the starting pitcher was elite. The offense was elite. They could have given it away, but an unbelievable defensive play saved the game. So, yeah, they don't beat themselves. And they look really consistent. And it originates with the starting pitching. Because if you're not getting off to good starts and posting zeros the first 3-4 innings, it's a different game. It's an uphill game for the offense, an uphill game for the defense, uphill game for everybody. The bullpen.
I think the way the bottom of the rotation has raised the floor has been the story of the year. You knew that you're going to get great Yamamoto. You figured Ohtani was going to be on a mission, but then no Snell, no Glasnow for a lot of the year. Ohtani's down on strikes 2 away. Robleski, Sheehan, Sasaki. The last month, those guys together are 5-2 with a 280, 70 strikeouts to 12 walks. And so you hate the injuries to Snell and Glasnow. You would 10 times out of 10 choose to have those guys, but what a thing to come out of it. Those guys getting more opportunities, the young guys that have such a hard time breaking through in this organization, getting a chance, and not just getting it, but doing what they've done.
Well, compare that to any top of the rotation of any other ball club. I mean, those are good numbers for wherever you want to grab 3 pitchers out of a rotation.
Paja is going to challenge here.
The pitcher's over strike, the hitter's challenging.
Yeah, and he'll lose that challenge. So that's a 1-2-3 inning.
Have 1 challenge remaining.
3 strikeouts for Yamamoto. That means 4 away from Jumbo Jackson. The Angels strike out a lot. So stay hungry. You ready? You're going to get a free burger tomorrow. Top of the 4th, 9-1. Yamamoto back to the hill. Wade Meckler to the plate. Meckler grounds the first one he sees to Mookie Betts. Positioned perfectly. Meckler hustling, but he's out.
Number 2.
Another ground ball. He is at his best when they're hitting it on the ground. The strikeout rate this year might be a little bit down, but he is trying to be more efficient and pitch more innings, and to do that, early count ground balls would be the way to go about it.
Oswald Peraza looks at a strike.
Two fastballs and see if he goes for the strikeout or if he goes for weak contact.
It's Betts. 2 out. What was he going for?
I'd say he could have got a little of both. He didn't go for a chase slider. He went for a strike slider right precisely on the outside corner. Got him to reach a little bit. Almost could have been called a strike.
So hard to be exactly sure which he was looking for, but what I can tell you is that 8 of the 10 batted balls have been on the ground. Shonowell with 2 away. Perfect. It's like Yamamoto has a chance here to say thank you to the guys behind him for getting all that support by just attacking and getting this game moving along.
Yep.
And that's what he's done. 3 ground ball outs in the 4th. Yep, 3 ground ball outs in the 4th, as I was saying, on 6 pitches.
Freddie Freeman might need to go to the chiropractor after this play. Let's take a look.
Oh.
Wow.
They're going to play on.
And they don't want it any more painful.
Yes. To the bottom of the 4th. Performance Spotlight is sponsored by your Southern California Nissan dealers. The first inning that everybody dancing. 9 runs for the Dodgers, their most in the first in 5 years. Turning this one into a laugher quickly. To the bottom of the 4th we go, on a major league debut right here. Sammy Natera, lefty from Mexico, misses downstairs with his first pitch as Miguel Rojas enters the game. Pinch hits for Freddie Freeman. And so Dave Roberts will get his bench going. 1 ball, 1 strike. Natera, 26 years old. Got the pitch in the World Baseball Classic for Team Mexico. Pitched against Team USA. Struck out Cal Raleigh. And with a really good month in AAA. Makes his way to the big leagues.
Called up yesterday, get in today. The 4th Angel this year to make their major league debut.
Shallow center field. Trout is there. Rojas is out. Yeah, now Mookie Betts comes up. And you hope that Rojas is in there just getting Freddie Freeman a little break. It didn't have anything to do with that awkward catch that he made lunging after Mookie Betts' throw.
Shortstop, Mookie
Betts 1 for 2. Singleton scored in the big first. Strike from Natera. Natera, who is more of a basketball player than he was a baseball player growing up. Didn't pitch until he was 17.
That's a fresh elbow and a fresh rotator cuff in the shoulder. Scouts will project more health for guys from the north and the northeast because they get less innings. They'll project hitters better from the west and the south because they get more reps. So the weather up there in the north with the winters, that protects your arm because you're just not throwing as much. You're not having as long as summers. You don't have as long of all the baseball that you could be throwing in the south and in the west. And so it's up to the parents. If you've got a great athlete with a great arm that loves pitching or wants to be playing, you've got to protect their arms as much as the don't leave it up to the coaches.
Or if you have the opposite problem in the Midwest, build them a pole barn.
Yeah, I
Put some
mean,
heat in it.
or move them to the south or the west,
And then protect their arm.
if they can hit.
Oh yeah.
If they can hit, move to the south or the west, because you want the reps.
Playoff coming home, and Betts is on for the second time tonight. Brings up Max Muncy, who is 2 for 2 without getting the ball out of the infield. Kind of game maybe get him sparked again.
Third baseman, Max
Just to go
Muncy.
back to the pitching and health and youth, I just think that, you know, Little League does a nice job limiting the pitch count, but if you've got the athlete that can play up from that, travel ball.
Ripped to right, and he finally gets it out of the infield with a great swing, but baseball's weird again.
Yeah.
And he's out.
If you're in multiple leagues and you're a little leaguer, you got to watch out with the workload. That's where the parents have to be involved. Kids might make 2 teams and want to play on 2 teams, but you got to watch the workload.
I've actually started commissioning my 7-year-old 10% to be his agent back and forth between the coaches. You got to pay me 10%, buddy.
To protect him.
Ouch. Poppy got all of that one.
Checking the integrity of his mask. Making sure it's all there. He says he's all right. He's just making sure the equipment's all right.
And he's got a manager who knows just what that feels like. 16 years in the major leagues as a catcher.
Not only are the bars there in front of you, which that's a very light mask, and it can take the punishment, but the vibration. There's not a lot of shock absorbers in that mask to stop that coming at you and still not feeling it.
Look out.
No matter what the scoreboard says, there is youth in a major league debut on the mound, and those nerves are going to be there, and he's going to overthrow some pitches, and you better be loose in the box. That is not on purpose. That is just nerves and excitement.
How long before that goes away?
Well, I think it's definitely individual, but to just put an estimate on it, I would say it changes dramatically in your second outing. But then you get to a point where you don't want it to go away. You do want that excitement and that adrenaline.
He gets Ward and has a scoreless first inning in the major leagues. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. And we welcome you back to Dodger Stadium, where it's 9-1 Dodgers. All the runs in this game coming in the first inning. Joe Adell starts the fifth and yanks a line drive to left field. One pitch, one out for Yamamoto. And 4 outs on 7 pitches the last inning plus.
The way the Angels are swinging it, it's like a spring training getaway day. They seem like they want to get away from this painful scoreboard as quick as possible. If it's going to happen, let's make it happen quick.
I always say the great part and the terrible part about baseball is that it comes at you again the next day every time. It's both the grind and also kind of the grace that a new day brings you. Rojas, by the way, stays in after pinch hitting for Freeman.
Well, in Arizona, the Dodgers were trying to win their 6th series in a row. They ended up splitting that 4-game series. Here, this scoreboard, get right back on the track of winning series.
Madrigal flexes it to first. Easy one for Rojas. Another quick out.
He didn't get all that one.
No.
That was right up there with Max Muncy's 35-footer.
Been some odd batted balls in this game. And if you feel for Kahanowitz, and not saying that Kahanowitz pitched well, but man, oh man, there were a couple good pitches that he made that led to hits.
Yep. Ohtani's chopper, Max's jam shot. A couple of balls where his fielders might have been able to rescue him with some nice plays in the field that didn't happen. It just all turned against him. Baseball probabilities and some tough defense behind him. What's going on? We're having a third pitch in this at bat. They had 1 pitch outs to start the last 2 innings. Will Smith picked a good day to get scratched. Get all those runs at the beginning. More relaxing to have a day off.
Bouncing ball to second, and another quick inning. That 2-0, or that ball that he threw was the first ball that he's thrown in 2 innings. 9-1, halfway home.
Be one of the first 40,000 fans and take home your Dodgers soccer jersey. That'll be on June 16th, presented by Bank of America. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
There's a big cockroach in the dugout, apparently. Ah! Get it, Andy. Oh.
Leading off the Dodger half of the 5th inning.
La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
Javi. Call leads off and takes ball 1. Javier didn't look like he had as much confidence battling the cockroaches as Andy Pajes did.
It looked like he had a hot foot.
Yeah. Or he was dancing to your song.
That's right.
Call to the left field corner. Foul. Alex is 0 for 2 today. He's the only guy that did not score in the first inning. Shohei said, "Don't worry, you can have my second run from that first inning." Another shot. By the way, Jacob Mizorowski, after a month of May where he gave up just 1 run, 0.23 ERA, goes into June, starts at Coors Field. Can he do it at Coors Field? 7 innings, 1 run. It was unearned. He struck out 8. Wow. Call just peppering that left field line. You can only go at Big Sean so many times before he's going to get you.
These Dodgers are so good at defense. Even the ball boys down the lines are really good. They come out early, work on their stuff.
That's right. Dino's like, this is getting out of control. I can't get here at breakfast. He probably would, though, if Sean asked.
Oh.
Dino would say what time.
Yep, sure. So we see where Dino coaches from. He coaches deep and stays close to the Dodger dugout. He'll move back with a right-handed pull hitter, and especially the way Alex Call has been pulling the ball. And if you take a look at Chris Woodward, he knows that Call's probably going to pull the ball, so he's a little closer over at the first base side. But we're going to take a look at Chris when Ohtani's up.
Does he move?
Oh, I would think he'd move back and towards the Angel dugout and maybe deeper into right field. Yeah. The coaches, you know, the Dodger defensive positioning is really good in game, but in foul territory, it's really good when they're on offense with the two coaches. Now, okay, Chris is moving back, left-handed hitter.
And Dalton rushing.
Chris has moved back about 3 steps over there on the first base side. Let's just move back a little bit with these left-handed hitters. I want to see where he is when Ohtani's up. Didn't you tell me that Mookie Betts used to adjust his lead when Ohtani was up and he was on first?
Yeah, secondary lead, first step was back.
You gotta get some room here.
Fastest way between point A and point B is a straight line, but the fastest way to get a bruise is to
be in the wrong place when Ohtani's hitting.
That's right. Jen Powell called balls and strikes last night. We were talking about her a little bit. The first female umpire in the major leagues. Rushing sends it in the air to right in Joe Adell. 2 gone in the 5th. Jen is from New Jersey. She played college softball at Hofstra, but her job while she was playing softball was to umpire. She'd make about $15 a game. Graduated from Hofstra, became an art teacher, but continued to umpire on the side, and then decided about a decade ago, I'm going to chase this. I'm going to put everything into this. And she went to an umpire academy and did so well there that she got a full-time job as a baseball umpire, and then last year broke that barrier.
It looked like she was fiddling with a microphone or something. I don't know if are they doing a documentary on her and she's mic'd up. Yeah, that's definitely a microphone.
Freeland 0 for 2. Down 0-2.
Oh, that's the umpire replay mic that she's wearing. Still can make a documentary.
We're good. We could take the audio from
the umpire mic. You should watch it. Your phone's always listening to you.
That ChatGPT AI conversation you started in the 0-0 game last night. Tonight might be the night to go deep on it. 9-1 after 5. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Good times. 9-1 Dodgers to the 6th. And Logan O'Hoppe to lead off for the Angels. Your catcher out of Long Island. Grew up going to games at Yankee Stadium. Wanted to be the next Derek Jeter like every other kid on Long Island and just about everywhere else. 23rd round draft pick O'Hoppe was. Drives this ball to right center field. Call is there. He's drafted by the Phillies. Became a big time prospect pretty quickly even though he was drafted that deep. And acquired in the Brandon Marsh trade a few years back. He's the first out of the 6th. And it's back to the top in Neto. I don't know if you saw Myles Garrett threw out the first pitch tonight. First of all, he's huge. Second of all, just watching him throw that first pitch, it kind of like gave me flashbacks to being a quarterback, terrified of the big fast guys. We didn't have anybody like that. But just watching him move on the mound, it's like, oh my gosh, that man is different.
Yeah. World-class athlete. Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Look at that.
I mean, there's a lot of world-class athletes from other sports that get out here and throw the first pitches, and it doesn't look anything like that.
Well, that's well done for a defensive end.
Rams going for it. 0-2 on Neto. All right, from the Dodger roster, who would make the best NFL defensive end?
Wow. Gratterall if he was healthy.
Enriquez?
Yeah. I'd like to see his first step.
Yeah.
First step speed. Just to, because can he blow by the outside so he could have two moves, inside move and an outside move.
I've got that guy at outside linebacker. There's Muncy.
Oh, for sure.
More like a stand-up.
With the neck roll.
Mm-hmm. Talking old school 4-3 outside linebacker, not a. Yeah. Who's your quarterback?
Ooh. My veteran backup quarterback would be Miggy.
I like that.
The starting quarterback. Well, see, I want to go a toss-up and a tryout between Will Smith and Mookie Betts, but I might be looking for some height and go Glasnow.
Ooh.
Somebody got to look over the line.
Center fielder Mike Trout.
Or if you go lefty, you can go Snell because he's tall too. Ohtani, I mean,
that might be a sneaky pick.
Yeah, Shohei could probably do anything.
Yeah, I was thinking the defensive end thing, and then I was thinking we've seen him yelp too loud.
That's what I was gonna say.
But quarterback, yeah. All right, Ohtani's the quarterback.
He could be the quarterback because he probably, he could run the ball. He could throw it over the line for sure. He could throw it the length of the football field.
1-2 on Mike Trout. Who's his favorite target?
Well, who would run the most accurate routes and time up with him?
Okay, so you're thinking like a slot receiver, reliable guy.
Yeah.
I kind of like Mookie.
Yeah, I was thinking Mookie for sure.
Freddie Freeman to make a great tight end, reliable.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, this is fun.
Well, we know one for the Rams is right there on the mound.
Yeah.
You could switch positions this year.
Just keep at it in the weight room, Miles.
He's a monster.
Eesh. Drew Pomerantz, the former first-round draft pick. That was 16 years ago. He was a first-round pick. The Cleveland Indians. And now in his 13th season, his first one with the Angels. Top of the order for the Dodgers. Ohtani leads off. And smacks one in the air to center field, where Jose Siri has replaced Mike Trout and immediately gets involved. Here's another guy that would be a good receiver. Andy Pages. 2-run home run tonight. 14th, tied with Muncy for the team lead. One more game in this series. It'll be tomorrow at 1:10. Jose Soriano got off to a good start for the Angels. The pitcher of the month in April, but has struggled mightily the last month. 534 in May. Emmett Sheehan goes for the Dodgers, and it's not been quite as profound as Sasaki's turnaround, but Emmett Sheehan's super steady as well lately. Guess didn't have as far to go to turn around from as Sasaki did. On a line to left, Meckler's there, 2 out. And the second time up there for Rojas.
First baseman, number 72, Miguel Rojas.
Dodgers got 9 runs in the first inning. They only have 1 hit since, and none since the second. Rojas came off of the bench for Freddie Freeman, flied out his first time up. And a little cross up there with O'Hoppe and Pomerantz. And Miguel was saying that the good feelings in the box a little bit fleeting these days. So work on something during the game, and then there's pressure to have whatever he's working on click that night, because you're not going to have another chance to put that to use for a few days, just given the role that he has. The other point that he made, though, was full acceptance of that role, and a team full of guys who would say the same thing, fully embracing whatever it is they're being asked to do. He thinks is the biggest underlying reason that, back to that conversation we're having about when's the last time this team was this good, he thinks that's the biggest reason why. Everybody embracing the specific thing they're being asked to do. Got a base hit here. First one for the Dodgers since the second.
Everybody understanding their role, accepting their role, preparing for their role, and then everybody pulling for each other. So you know the impact that Miggy has had on this team and this organization, that everybody was glad to see that hit. Remember at the beginning we saw Roki, and I said that's the best seat in the house after 10 strikeouts, pitching so well, and the culmination of all the work that's gone in, and how he's on a roll. Dave Roberts now has the best seat in the house.
Fly ball to right center field, and Siri puts bookends on his first inning of the night.
The first 40,000 fans will take home an exclusive Shaquille O'Neal bobblehead. That's on Saturday, June 20th. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto has retired 16 straight. Wade Meckler takes downstairs ball 1. There was a bunt hit from Meckler with 2 gone in the first inning, then a triple from Peraza. The Angels led this game. Do not have a base runner since.
0 for 16 with 3 Ks.
One to Meckler. Grounded back to Yamamoto, who's got it. Smooth play, 1 out.
Great reactions, great hands. That is wonderful. That ball scorched back at you, and he has enough time to backhand it.
Here comes to Peraza. He's at 80 pitches, 8-run lead. And Dave Roberts letting him continue.
I got to believe this is the last inning. I would have thought that they may be even thinking of pulling him out before this inning, but it is a very light pitch count for him.
Strikes him out.
Perfection with the high fastball right there. You don't even need to move the glove. Perfect.
Though for Yamamoto, his last 4 starts, 27 innings, 3 runs. And tonight he's sat down 18 in a row, back to the first inning. Chonowell in his first game back is now 0 for 3. Freeland's there. And another quick inning, 7th inning stretch brought to you by Sit and Sleep, SoCal's most trusted mattress store. To the bottom of the 7th we go. The Dodgers have a 9-1 lead.
Half of the 7th inning. Pitch hitter number 21.
And Ryan Zefferjohn comes into the game to pitch for the Angels. Native of Topeka, Kansas, who then pitched for the Jayhawks. Drafted by the Red Sox, and the Angels got him in a trade a few years back. 3rd season in the big leagues. Santiago Espinal, leadoff for LA. Espinal finds himself back with the team after they had cut him loose. And he was free to go elsewhere, but didn't come to terms with any other team. And then Kike Hernandez goes down on the injured list, and they call him back and say, what about coming back? And he told me that the idea of going somewhere else and having a bigger role was appealing. But he said, look, I got a championship team here that's treated me so well, been completely honest from day one. Loops this one to short. Neto has it. He said they even told him, look, it's probably going to be a 2-month thing. You're going to play for 2 months. Kike is going to come back, and that's probably going to be it. And he said it went exactly how they said. And then the other reason that he was happy to come back, his wife is due with their first baby in less than a month. So the idea of staying put in one city was that much more appealing.
Number 67.
Baby girl
Ward.
coming to an early July. And Santiago and his wife both really excited. He said their parents going to be first-time grandparents. So everybody itching for the baby to arrive. Probably nobody more than Mama, though. Ryan Ward with one away. Knocked in 2 with a double in the first.
Had a nice conversation with Ryan Ward around the batting cage today. We were just talking about the different clubs in his bag as far as the leg kick, no leg kick, spreading out, choking up. He's done it all. And he knows when to use it. He knows when to open his swing up a little bit in the 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 counts. He also knows when he's up against a tough pitcher that he needs to shorten up, choke it up a little bit, get rid of the leg kick a little bit more, maybe just do a little spread out, heel raise, get his foot down and put the ball in play. It was good to hear from a guy who's hit a lot of home runs.
Strikes out here. 2 gone in the 7th. He beat the odds. He's the cold weather state hitter from Massachusetts. 7 seasons in the minor leagues, and in some of the winters he'd go back home and make some money by driving the snowplow.
Right fielder number 12, Alex Call.
Those two things, for many reasons, normally don't go hand in hand. Major league hitter and snowplow driver. Sweeper for a strike on Call. He's going to go back out there, huh?
Yeah, take a look at the bullpen.
Empty.
He's a warrior. It'd be an easy one to just kind of say, you know, that's enough, Skip. Look at the scoreboard. I need some rest. He's like, whatever you need.
Like you said, a little bit surprising that it didn't work the other way around, where they're saying, hey, we know you can keep going, but enough.
Yeah, but they have decided to start pushing the starters this year, and I like it. And I'm sure the guys in the bullpen like it.
And if anybody has shown you can do it and not have to worry one bit, it's him. 14th time that he's gone 7+ innings since the start of last year. Only Christopher Sanchez has done it more.
He is continuing what these starters have done over the last few weeks. Just an amazing job. They've covered the last 13 starts, and ridiculous that they have a 1.36 ERA in the last 13 starts by Dodger starters. 0 or 1 earned run in 10 of the 13 starts.
Walk for Call.
Not a complete walk back flip, but
You can't right here.
he just kind of dropped it gently.
Yeah, but with pizzazz.
It had style.
Gentle pizzazz.
Catcher number 68, Dalton Rushing.
And here's Rushing.
I'd like to see this young man get a hit. Walk, fielder's choice, fly out to right.
Have you remained diligent on your scorecard tonight?
I have. I'm up to date. Does feel a little bit like a spring training game where you could give up, but no, I've hung in there. I've got some endurance. I'm going to complete this game.
I've completely let myself go.
Okay. Thank you for coming clean.
Looper, right center. Adele will run over there to make a nice catch. 7 innings in the books, and it's 9-1 Dodgers. Well, Yamamoto, since giving up a run in the first inning, nothing doing. And it's continued this starting pitching back to May 24th, a 1.36 ERA the last 13 games.
Yeah, the team's on a roll, and they don't beat themselves in the first category that they don't beat themselves lately. And it's been a long stretch because the starting pitchers get off on a good foot.
20 in a row retired by Yamamoto. And to the 8th inning we go. 9-1 Dodgers in front, where Joe Adele will lead off. And Chase, strike one. They are ready to get out of here.
Joe Adele was chasing the stat sheet right there. He was cheating, hoping for a strike, and hit it out. Yamamoto, good job throwing a little breaking ball. Right back at it.
Got some pretty fun history Dr. Cajusi's putting together for us for what we're seeing tonight.
Okay.
Give me a minute. Just want to procure a little context for you. Cliffhanger.
Yoshinobu knows that the Angels are hacking. They know it's more of an individual battle right now, so he's pitching accordingly. Started him off with 2 sliders and tried to finish him off there with the splitter, not giving in to a cripple fastball. And now you could go up the ladder and beat him with the fastball. Just get it high enough. Got him out in front with the slider again. Not trying to give him the heater at all. It's a battle of egos right now. The scoreboard is out of whack. This is just like pitcher against hitter. You want stats? I'll get some stats.
Espinal times that bounce up, heaves it across and gets him.
I appreciate that about him. He is a slick fielder, and I love he throws very accurately from unorthodox positions.
Designated hitter Nick Madrigal.
And with different body language, he'll range over there in front of Mookie Betts and make an awkward throw, and it's still strong and accurate.
One away in the 8th. The hitter's Madrigal, and Yamamoto's in there with the curveball for a strike.
Have you procured enough yet?
I got a couple things for you.
You teased it very well. I'm over here stalling.
You did a great job of that. Roller down to Espinal. All right, since 1901, there have only been 3 instances where a team scores only in the first inning and wins by 8 or more runs.
Okay.
Hasn't happened since 1954. Indians did it in 1954. The A's did it in 1934. The Giants did it in 1921.
We can't give up a run, but we can score
if you
ourselves.
do, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's 8 or more. Yep.
Donovan Walton, 2 out, strike 1. How about times where they've scored 9 runs in the first inning and nothing after? How many times do you think that's happened in franchise history?
9 in the first and nothing after.
Nothing after. It's all on one card, so that.
Well, it's either 1 or 0, so I'm going to go with 1.
One time, and they lost.
No!
Yeah! September 30th, 1913. They scored 9 runs in the first inning against the Phillies and lost 10-9. What a game for Yamamoto. Gives up a run in the first inning, not another base runner after that. 9-1, last of the 8th.
Angels are going to be so glad that the Dodgers starting pitchers that throw the split finger are not pitching tomorrow. They're 1 for 20 off it with 7 Ks in the series between Sasaki and Yamamoto. And with Sheehan, you're going to get a changeup, but you're not going to get a splitter.
Freeland leads off the last of the 8th. Zephyr John misses low. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals started at 5 o'clock.
Is it over?
No.
What?
Okay, don't act like it's not on the TV 3 feet to your left. Wasn't it 4-0 in the first?
It was 4-0 after 2.
Okay.
And then 4-3. And then Carolina scored with about 2 minutes left in the third. And tied it at 4. And the first overtime was scoreless. And they are in the second overtime with about 16 minutes to go. And stay here on the Dodger game.
This is way more exciting. I said game 2. It's obviously game 3.
Yeah, 1-1. Carolina won game 2 in overtime, and that was a late comeback there. They got the tying goal in game 2 with less than 2 minutes left, I think, and beat them in overtime. Somebody's going to go home disappointed, down 1-2.
The great Sean McDonough on the call for ESPN.
He's probably had some throat lozenges. A lot of water.
Boy, you need those on a basic hockey game, let alone Stanley Cup playoff game goes double OT.
I remember a Gary Thorne broadcast of like 4 overtimes.
Was it the Avalanche over the Panthers in '95?
Yeah, maybe. His analyst was Ken. I can't think of it, but I remember They came back for that last overtime, and they took their ties off and had them on as headbands.
Said 95. It was 96.
96.
Triple overtime, 1-0.
Yeah, I remember watching that. It's sad that I can't remember who the analyst was. We all end up being forgotten.
Barry Melrose?
No,
he was studio.
No. I don't think it was I don't think it was Ken Dryden, the goaltender.
Bill Clement.
Bill Clement. That's it. Yeah, and very good broadcast. Amazing broadcast.
Gary Thorne was probably my first guy that I loved that was broadcaster. 2-2 on Ohtani.
The hockey
it
game
just ended.
Just ended. Golden Knights scored the goal. About 6 minutes into the second overtime, they win 5-4.
Getting all the sports in tonight. Drafted a Dodger football team. Got the quarterback at the plate here. He can even wear his baseball number. Works as a quarterback number.
There we go.
And he takes a walk. When this wraps up, Access Sportsnet Dodgers presented by Mercury Insurance. Well, if you had a ticket to tonight's game, I hope you made it to your seat for the first inning. All 9 runs for the Dodgers came in that first. 2 batters in. They had more runs than they did last night because this guy right here launched a home run. Here it was.
Andy Pages with that swing drove in 2. The Angels in 5 games against the Dodgers have scored 4.
Hitting 133 as a team in those 5 games. And after they swept the Dodgers in 6 games head-to-head last year, tomorrow they're going to be looking at getting swept in the 6 games.
Shohei, Pages, and Freeman scored 4 runs in the first inning. That's how many the Angels have scored in the whole series. 5 games.
First 4 hitters. Pages down on strikes. And he's still looking for his first multi-hit game in, it's been 10 games. Rojas has a hit off of the bench. Backup quarterback. Everybody's favorite, though, backup quarterback, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And backup quarterback and the holder on all extra points and all field goals, for sure. Sure hands, slow heartbeat.
When people are saying bench Ohtani on Monday morning for the interception that he threw, calls for Rojas get louder.
Yeah, but good backup quarterbacks are team leaders too. You know, in the quarterback room and then in the main locker room.
Love those backup quarterback commercials. Teddy Bridgewater and
who would you put on the Dodgers in the Heisman house? Every answer could be Ohtani.
Yeah. Rojas grounds out to short. Kind of flummoxed me on that one. None of them have a Heisman.
Yeah.
I think you have to have a Heisman to be in the Heisman house.
That's true.
One rule. To the ninth. Call to the bullpen is brought to you by Jacoby and Myers, and it doesn't happen until the 9th inning. Yamamoto goes 8, and Jack Dreyer comes on looking for the last 3 outs.
some mental discipline right here. You've got to really get fired up for this outing, not let it spiral out of control. The best thing you can do for your team is 3 up, 3 down quick and throw some strikes.
Jari gave up a home run on Monday as the first run that he had allowed since April. Strikeout O'Hoppe, who challenges.
The pitch was ruled a strike. The hitter's challenging.
I really hope he loses this. And he does.
The call is confirmed. The Angels have 1 challenge remaining.
We're going to develop a culture in the big leagues of when challenges should not be allowed. 9-1 in the 9th. Not allowed to challenge.
Maybe there could be a rule, not even to heck with the culture, just if it's an 8-run gap.
Right. Just like
diving play by Call.
there is no off button on that man. There is no off button no matter what the scoreboard says. Very nice, Alex. Jack Dreyer appreciates it. Way to go. Your Dodger teammates appreciate it, and the fans that have stayed around appreciate it. Baseball's a beautiful game when you got guys out there trying hard. I gave up on my score pad. Just want to come clean like you did.
You know, it's nice to have company in that. I don't feel as lonely now.
Yeah.
Neto. Nice curveball from Dreyer. 1:10 tomorrow. First pitch, Soriano for the Angels, Sheehan for the Dodgers.
I'll tell you what I would feel on the mound. If they're going to challenge my ball strike first pitch fastball, I'm dropping a hammer on you. I don't care what the scoreboard says. You guys just said game on still. Kind of like when you play behind the guy at first and the guy still runs. It's like, we're playing behind you because the scoreboard's out of whack. You're just supposed to stand there. If you guys are coming back, you have to do it with your bats, not stealing second.
So is that somewhat off color to throw a curveball like that?
Well, I'm saying I would have changed my MO in my head of you're second guessing and challenging my fastball for a strike. I'm now going to just try and embarrass you.
Got it.
It just takes me to another emotional level. And you're looking for that in this outing. You're looking for that edge.
Maybe he decides he hates the color red.
Exactly. Anything.
Drilled to left field, down the line, gone. Home run for Zach Neto.
That's why you keep trying. Is get your ERA painted. That's a good job by Neto, keeping that ball fair.
Booking 10 soldiers in this game for the Angels. They got the run in the first, their first base runner since. Snaps a string of 23 in a row retired by Dodger pitching.
This swing is not good for your procurement. Winning by 8.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Scoring 9 and winning by at least 8.
Yeah. Scoring. Yep. So it remains only 3 times in Major League history that's happened. The other one is still alive and would take a complete and utter disaster.
10-9.
Yeah. And actually would still be alive because the other one was instances where they've scored 9 in the first and nothing after. Just do not have a repeat of September 30th, 1913, when they blew that 9-0 lead.
I was not there.
No, you hadn't been called up yet?
No.
Dodgers kept the same pitcher in that whole game, even as the lead started to smaller, smaller, and smaller.
That manager probably got fired.
Pat Reagan gives up 10 runs on 14 hits. Takes the L. Strike 3 and 2 gone. By the way, the manager did get fired.
Okay.
A few days after that. Bill Dolan was the manager. He got fired, and the next year, Wilbert Robinson came in to begin his almost two-decade run. Was such a character and such a important figure in Brooklyn's baseball history. The team was named after him for a while. The Robins. Strike on Meckler. Up the middle, Mookie Betts with a diving play to finish the game. A 9-run first inning, that was all, but that was plenty.
They did a very nice job early, offensively, and they played all 27 outs defensively. And Yamamoto, nice job tonight.
So the Dodgers get their 18th win out of their last 23 games. They are 5-0 in the Freeway Series this year. They'll look for the clean sweep tomorrow behind Emmett Sheehan, Laurel Hershiser, Kirsten Watson, and the rest of our crew. Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Stay tuned for Access Sportsnet Dodgers, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.